Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Wilhelmy, and welcome back to Healing is a Messy Bitch. It's where we talk about the messy, neurobiological, relational truth about trauma, intimacy, and healing. And today we're exploring a question that I hear all the time. Why does love feel scary, overwhelming, or unsafe, even when I want it? If closeness makes you freeze, if you crave connection, but also push people away, if you feel unworthy of the love that you're actually longing for, you're not broken, you're patterned. And today we're going to unpack exactly what happens in your brain and your body and your nervous system and how EMDR can help rewire those. So love should feel safe, not like danger. But for trauma survivors, love often feels like a risk. You might want to pull away when somebody gets close, feel unworthy of care, panic during conflict, shut down during intimacy, and collapse into shame where no danger exists. These reactions aren't random, they're the residue of attachment trauma, the earliest lessons that your body learned about connection. Attachment wounds just aren't psychological, they're neurobiological imprints formed through repeated exercises of neglect, inconsistency, emotional criticism, fear, unpredictability. If love and fear coexisted in your childhood, your brain wired them together. So, as an adult, intimacy can activate the same survival systems that protected you for decades. Your body isn't overreacting, your nervous system is remembering. Let's talk about what attachment trauma does inside the brain. Research shows that individuals with disrupted early relationships often develop amygdala hyperactivation. The brain detects threat, reduced prefrontal regulation, harder to calm down or think clearly, dysregulated oxytocin release, so difficulty bonding and trusting. And this explains why a partner's neurosilence can feel like abandonment and why conflict can feel earth shattering instead of solvable. The accumulation erosion of emotional safety offers threat detection networks in the same way that an acute assault does. Avoiding, clinging, shutting down, these aren't personality flaws. They're survival strategies and they're encoded in your implicit memory. So, how does EMDR help rewire attachment? EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing, and it's one of the most powerful tools we have for healing. Originally, it was designed for PTSD, and now EMDR helps clients repair relational trauma and rebuild trust. And here's how. EMDR creates adaptive memory reconsolidation, meaning that your brain takes old traumatic memory and it restores it with new meaning. Through bilateral stimulation, eye movements, tones, or taps, EMDR reduces that emotional intensity. It also connects emotional and rational parts of the brain, softens shame, rewrites old narratives, and restores a sense of safety. A belief like, I'm unlovable becomes, I can love and feel safe. I'm too much becomes, I needed care and now I can receive it. And in attachment work, EMDR targets the core relational templates, the body's old definition of what closeness means. With the therapist as the secure base, clients literally can relearn safety in connection. EMDR isn't just about lowering fear, it's about reorganizing the entire attachment system. And with clients with chronic neglect or repeated emotional inconsistencies, EMDR can help create a calmer nervous system, greater tolerance for intimacy, less pain during conflict, more openness to reassurance, more stable emotional regulation. And as I write in my doctoral project, EMDR metabolizes intrusive fragments while attachment-based therapy sustains the secure base. Practically, that can look like targeting early scenes, like no one came when I cried, installing new beliefs. I am worthy of comfort, linking childhood wounds to adult triggers, creating safety through therapist attunement. And when this work lands, the body responds viscerally. Shoulders drop, breath deepens, tears flow, numbness dissolves, and the body begins to tell a new story that closeness doesn't have to hurt. I'm going to give you a case example. We're going to call them Rachel. So let me share a case from my clinical work. So Rachel is 38, cisgender female, came to therapy terrified of intimacy. She dissociated during sex and felt emotionally numb with partners. In EMDR, she targeted a memory of crying alone in her room while her mother yelled, "Stop being so sensitive." And as she followed bilateral stimulation, something shifted. Her adult self appeared beside the child version and whispered, "You're not too much. You just needed love." And she cried, and something that she'd never really been able to do. And in the following week, she practiced asking her partner for reassurance without shame. Her nervous system, once coded for abandonment, began coding for connection. And this is what healing looks like. Not perfection, but capacity. I like to think of EMDR plus EFT as the power duo. EMDR works on the internal trauma template, and EFT, which is emotionally focused therapy, works on the external relational pattern. EFT was founded by Sue Johnson, and she calls love an emotional bond where safety is the goal. EMDR gives clients the regulation to engage in that bond. And together, EMDR plus EFT target childhood injuries. They reduce triggers. They build responsiveness. They foster secure connection. And as I describe in the integrative path, EMDR targets the hotspots that ignite the cycle, while EFT sustains the secure base. This is trauma-informed, attachment-based therapy at its best, bottom-up and top-down healing. So if you've ever wondered, why does love feel unsafe? Why do I freeze when someone gets close? Why do I trust and doubt at the same time? It's because trauma taught your nervous system that closeness equals danger. But those patterns can be rewired. EMDR helps your brain release that old story. Attachment-based therapy helps you rewrite a new one. And if you're a survivor wanting to heal the relational fear or clinician exploring deeper integrative trauma work, visit www.amywilhelmy.com. And next in this series, we're going to explore Eli and Jonah, which is another case that I've worked with. And it's EMDR for anxious and avoidant love styles, because healing isn't linear and love doesn't have to feel like danger forever.